Hey friends, Adam here. Welcome to the final video in this series tournament I played on June 14th, 2026 on 9-ball tournament at the Breakaway in Burlington, Wisconsin. Now I will put a playlist to all the matches up above. In the last match, I mentioned that it was the second to last match in the loser's bracket. However, Connor from match 2 decided, who ended up losing the hot seat to the guy I'm about to play, who is a very famous soccer player, for those of you who don't know, named Mo Salah. Yes, he plays pool as well. I was amazed too. Connor decided to forfeit that match and go home because it was getting late on a Sunday. So I automatically went into the finals. I'm guaranteed second. I am playing Mo for the final match. Now he did win undefeated. He's in the hot seat, so I have to beat him twice. So if that happens, I will put that all in the same video because I don't want to spoil anything by having extra videos or not extra videos or whatever for people who see this in the future, who don't see this as he's coming out. So let's head over to the table. We will see how Mo Salah plays. Wait a minute. Mohamed. Wait a minute. This isn't the soccer guy. Now, I'm sure he's never heard that joke before, but he actually goes by Mo. So Mo is from Illinois. Mo is I got it wrong last time I said 546. He's a 564 at the time of this tournament, and he was playing lights out on his way to get to the finals. He beat some very strong players, and I can't remember who it was that said he basically ran a set on him. It might have been Kyle from the last match. So he broke dry. I decided to kick at the ball instead of pushing out because I didn't think there was a great push out. And as further review, that was probably a bad idea. For those of you who don't know, this tournament is a 9-ball has to be made last. There's no early 9. So if you make the 9 on a combo or kiss or carom or on the break before the last ball, it gets spotted. You keep shooting. There's no 3-follow rule. What else? And it's a race to your Fargo. So because was a 628 at the time of this video, I go to 6 and Mo is 564. He goes to 5. And then if I were to win this match, we go to the second match and it's the same race. So I have to beat Mo essentially 6-5 race twice to take first place. Mo looks like he has a decent out here. 5 to the 6 is probably going to be the biggest shot. Now, I found that interesting because I would have played basically a stop shot on the 2 to get the window here on the 3 to then come out for the 4 on the side. So I found this pattern pretty interesting. Now he was warming up. You could see in the last match when we were actually on this table. Or here in the last match, you could see him warming up on this table. This table has been my nemesis. It plays differently. There's most of the final matches in tournaments are played on here so that you can get other people playing non-tournament matches just on the rest of the tables. There are 8 tables in this room. But he got himself weird because he tried to get through all that. So I think I like playing the 2 and just stopping the cue ball up here for the 3. He tried to play the 4-9. It did not work. And he leaves me this. The camera's focus issues again. I screen grabbed this. It's only at 1080p, but my settings are set to screen grab at 4K, so I don't know if that screwed things up. But by the time I get this like decompressed and recompressed and uncompressed and stuff, it may look much better on the final video, we're hoping. DaVinci Resolve is pretty good at upscaling 1080p to 4K, so we'll see what happens. I just got it in my head that all I needed to do was make that ball and I was good, and I was almost not good. I did not really worry about cue ball. I wanted to just kind of come one rail up, and I knew the 7 was there. But as one of my matches previously, I'm treating this as the 9-ball. This is the game money ball. All I have to do is make this ball. I get natural position on the 6. 7 and the 9 is fine. All I have to do is make it. Made it center pocket. Did not even bobble it, which I tend to do on those shots. Those are Like if I had a, you know, pool weakness, those would be right up there, those long cuts down the rail, especially if they're on the other side of the side pocket, which that one wasn't, but another story altogether. So this one, I just need an angle to be able to get, I wanted an angle on the 7, I wanted to be off the rail. So I have an angle on the 7, and I'm a little bit off the rail. I could jack up and just kind of draw this back, but I was feeling pretty good. I beat a 667. I beat Kyle pretty handily. So I'm going to try Z bank or Z like that. And I know the side pocket comes into play, but I know how to hit past the side pocket. And I also know if I make that shot, it's a huge boost to my confidence. I have a tendency to give away the first game of a lot of matches, and I did not do it there. I tried. I think it was a bad pattern from Mo. This is a decent break, but look at this mess. So what do you do here? Is it possible to bank the one under here and leave it and have the cue ball come out this way? I think so, but I decide to go at this one ball. It's probably overconfident, cut it in, and then send the cue ball towards this and break them out and hopefully get a shot. And well, I'll take that. Didn't happen for 500, Alex. Or it's not even Alex anymore, is it? Sorry, Alex. But I didn't really sell out the game because getting from the 1 to the 3 is difficult, if not impossible. The 3 doesn't really go anywhere except for the same pocket as the 1. Unless you do this. Oh, you almost had it. I thought he was gonna bump this 3 out just enough to be able to get a shot. And that was a really good shot on the 1. And he tried to play me behind the 9 and it just leaked out. Now that could be bouncy rails. He's kind of laughing at himself. It could be, there's a lot of pressure when you sit for 3 hours and you play a guy that comes through the loser's bracket. I'm, how many points am I ahead of him? 50-ish, a little over 50. And that could be some people, first time I ever played a 700, I freaked out, but he made it easy on me because I broke dry and he just ran out. So that was fun. Now, all I need to do here is get on the 6. And I'm a little bit on the wrong side of this ball. So I'm a little bit going into the 9 because I have to cut it this way. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to play it past the 9 with upper left and spin it out towards the center of the table. But I get it. I've done this before where I get it in my head where if I hit a ball, I want to make sure I bounce off of it. So instead I hit it too hard with too much spin, thinking I might hit the 9, which if I hit the 9, I'd probably scratch there anyway. And I do this to myself. So this is not a really good way to start. First game was a decent way to finish. This is not a good way to start the second game and my first break. I think first the shot on the 1 was very, very, very ambitious, and that was just a mistake. So I'm just kicking at this, hoping to make it or get safe or leave it not like this. I think that was the case. I talked about 2 rail safes in one of the earliest videos, and if I hadn't already, I put the playlist to this whole thing up above. I think I have, though. I talked about how I like 2 rails over 1 rail for kicks. There just wasn't one there. That one you just have to go at it. And I've talked about 2 rails to kind of go on top of the ball to get separation. I think that's one you just go at it and try to make it. There's no other real way to do it. So he took the 3 rail route on that, which is interesting because the inside spin really works well on this table. And he got really short on this ball, but he spent 0.3 seconds thinking about it. Just makes the cut really, really, really super clean. Center pocket. And we are tied at 1. It is alternate break. This table breaks really tough. He did make a ball though. But he has nothing on the one. And he has no real... Where do you push? Because no matter where you push, you're leaving... Unless you push to a jump of some sort, which maybe here. Or you'd have to be closer. Or maybe even here. That might not be bad. Play it. That might not be bad. That might not be a bad push. I'm probably giving it back. Depends on how good you are and how comfortable you are with a jump cue, because if you play that, you need to be really confident with your jumping abilities. He's going to play it down here somewhere. This isn't bad at all either. The problem is I have such access to the one ball. I can do a lot of different things. What I'd really like to do is kind of bank this way and play the cue ball one rail behind the two. The bouncy rails are a problem. The point here is a problem, depending on where you hit this. And if you hit you can hit the one into the two on the way out easily. So I got hit by the bouncy rails. Now, I didn't sell out the game because he has to reach over this 9 ball. You'd really want to play this with right spin to cut it. But he didn't even try. He tried to play safe. I think he tried to bank it this way, maybe? I don't know. That was tough. I got a little lucky off that attempted failed safety off the one. But who knows? I don't remember a lot of this. I remember, I like most of the matches, I know the score. It is ridiculously early in the morning. It is 2:47 a.m. and I'm starting to get tired finally for the day. It was a rough weekend. We'll say that. I played from 5 p.m. until 2:30 a.m. Saturday or Friday night, and then couldn't fall asleep and didn't get to sleep until after 4. Saturday I went back for more, and this is all at the breakaway, all tournaments all weekend long at the breakaway. Saturday I went back about 5:30, played, did not do well in the tournament, but then played sets and did not do well in those either until about 2:30 in the morning. Had problems falling asleep. Did I just corner hook or point hook myself on this thing? What's funny is that I didn't think I did, but when I got down on the shot, now I'm like, whoa. And I just shot it. I'm just like, if I'm corner hooked, it's going to miss. It's going to look ridiculous, but I don't know what else I can do. Unfortunately, I was not point hooked. But anyway, yeah. So then I got home and I couldn't fall asleep there later. This tournament was on Sunday. I got there about 1:30 p.m. and tournament started at 3. I had lunch and settled in, warmed up and stuff, and did not get home until probably midnight. And this week has been a blur. Currently job hunting, so I don't really have much to do tomorrow. I'm meeting a friend for lunch, but I don't have to be conscious for that. Focus. Please focus. Camera focus. In 3, 2, maybe not. There it goes. Trying to decide if it's my eyes tired or it's a camera focus. So that, I was trying to play 1, 2, 3, and maybe even 4 down. But instead I hit the point and I got just like a perfect leave on the 7. I was going to play it for the 7 on the side so I could just float up and play the 8 on the side and float up and play the 9 on the side. Instead I hit the point, and even it could go past the point and down here. But now I want to just pop this out with some right English. So it's a stun shot with a lot of right. And it still stuns on the same slidey stun angle, but when it hits the rail, the right spin takes and it sends it over. This one, I don't know if I can stun or if I have to use right inside spin to kind of go over towards the 9. Yeah, inside over towards the 9. This is pretty good for a final shot. I don't really want to be, I'd really rather be here. I would not want to be shooting this if my next ball was like here for the side, because I'd have to go around rails, but I can just baby that in and play the cue ball to the bottom rail and regain the lead 2-1. Watch my break form here. Watch me jump forward. See, the break is supposed to be standing up and not moving forward, just standing straight up so it frees your arm up, but I'm not doing that. So remember in my match against Kyle Baker, match number 3, he played a carom into the corner pocket and left the ball he caromed up for a shot in the side. That's what I had in mind here. So I'm looking at what happens when I hit this 1. I'm going to go into the 3, and the cue ball is not going to really go anywhere. It's going to stay here. But can I get the 1 to pop up here just enough to give me an angle in the side? Like here's fine. It's going to go like this. Here's fine. I mean, yeah, just somewhere in there I can play it in the side. Has to be played very soft. The natural angle here is pretty good. I don't really have to put any side spin on it to make the carom. So I just float it in, and that's going to be really, really, really good. Now, a lot of the times I will draw this back because I'm going from the 2 to the 5 here. A lot of the times I will draw this to the rail and out a little bit. On my home table, I do this shot all the time. The problem is these rails are so bouncy, I did not feel comfortable with that at all. I don't like floating this forward because I think it can skid, which means when the 2 balls hit each other and they kind of cling for a second and you don't really get the spin. So I'm doing more of a stun run through, stun forward, stun follow to get out past the 8 ball. Oh, you know what? I did not. I just followed it. Okay. I had more angle than I thought. The cling doesn't. The cling happens more, or the skid, when you're straight on a shot, which I thought it was, but I wasn't. So this is good. Now I'm gonna play this with low right, and actually I'll put a link to my cue ball control series videos up above. I'm having a video on draw shots that I'm gonna be filming in the next couple days. That one is a very, very popular shot for holding for balls that are on this rail. You can do a number of different things with those. You can play them back and forth. You can kind of drag shot, which means the draw kind of is off the ball by the time it gets into the object ball, and hold it more over here, or do what I did and just kind of play it out to the center of the table. I need an angle here to get to the 8s, which I don't have. But I remember feeling really good in this match, and just like, I'm just going to do whatever it takes because I have nothing to lose at this point. I'm guaranteed second, and if I lose this set, I get second. I have to win this set and the next set in order to win the tournament. And why wouldn't I just go all out? And I'm not saying I'm going to try crazy shots or anything, but I'm going to kind of freewheel and do this. 2-rail draw back and forth. No English. Straight draw. There's a common shot, and I'll actually be going over that in my draw video. My draw side spin video, where you put side spin on the cue ball and you draw it out and it shoots out. But I knew all I needed was a natural angle just to come straight out. This one, I got to pop off this rail and come out as far as I can for the 9. This is not an easy shot. This is a lot of power. Maybe not as much power as I could have used. More power, but I got pretty good on this. That one I actually used the bounciness of the rails to my advantage. This one's just low outside, and it's almost the same shot that I talk about playing the money ball. Set it up where it's racked and just play it from all over the table. Now it was a different angle. It was down here more, but it's almost the same shot. So I'm up 3-1. And that's ugly. Does he have enough to make this past the 7? I don't think he does. I think he's kicking at it. It looked like he might have slightly miscued there. He put a lot of spin on it. Maybe he had to like pop masse it to get it around, and that's why it looked like it miscued, but a lot of spin on the ball, so maybe that's what happened. So here I'm looking at what happens if I get into this mess to try to get on the 3 back to the 4, because this is the 4 ball way up here. 3 here, 5 here, 7, 8, 6, 9, cue ball, 1 ball. So I don't know what I'm looking at. Am I looking at drawing off the 6? I was going to do a video on that at one point. Like we're talking about maybe watching the shot and saying, if this goes in, there's no way I hit the 6, or, you know, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to hit the 6 here. Maybe, I don't know. Definitely hit the 6. Definitely made the 1 hit the 1 first. So I didn't try to draw off the 6. I kind of just stunned off the 6 to just get things broken up and get it out of there. So the problem here is, how do I get from the 3 to the 4? I can't go forward because this 8 ball is in the way. So I'm going to draw with outside, and I like this shot a lot. This is one of my favorite shots. It's going to come out here, go that way if I make it. Now I didn't get as much. I think I forced it more. So I needed a little bit more of a smooth follow through to get more draw on it. But I still have a shot on the 4. And if I make it, the cue ball is naturally coming up here for the 5. Now it could go all the way down here and back up, but I have a lot of room for error here. Or I can just miss. I did have a lot of room for error, but that requires me making the ball. I think I tried that with a little bit of outside. A lot of times I like spinning those in, and it kind of sends the cue ball this way, but I couldn't do that on that shot because of where the 5 was. But I didn't leave him great. I don't know what he's going to do here. Try to cut it in. Yep. He tried to cut it in, try to come back. Does he make the 8? Nope. He just gets unlucky all over the place. So I have a very, very straight-ish 4 ball. It's straight on the wrong way. If it was up here, I could maybe do something and bring the cue ball back here. But the cue ball is going to fly this way after making the ball. I can't get enough on it to have it go this way. I just don't have that angle. In fact, I have to avoid hitting the 6. So I'm just going to go all out, put straight top on this and hit 100 miles an hour and do this. Another shout out to Johnny C, the short side king, for this short side. Or actually, I should have said to you, this short side position brought to you by Johnny C, the short side king, where short side is king or something. So what I'm looking here, I'm going to combo the 8 or the 5 into the 8. It's as long as I make, hit the 5 to make it, I will hit the 8. But I'm also looking at making sure I hit the 7 because I want to spin. I want to be able to hold for the 5. Just like that. Now, 2 ways I can do this. I can draw and do that. I'm almost positive the 6 goes past there. Or I can play 3 rails around. No, it looks like I'm drawing. I think the 3 rail around of the follow doesn't really get me there. Ooh, that was really good. Do I get there? I get there. Okay, so the 5 was off the rail enough that I could draw it past the side pocket. Otherwise, you have to Z that before the side pocket and over here. And it's a much tougher shot with the 7 being in the way. This is just going to be straight top, maybe a hair of left to straighten the angle out, and just coming out here. Overran a little bit, but bouncy rails, nerves, all the stuff. All the things that make shots don't go exactly perfectly as planned, but this is still fine. Stop shot that, stop shot this. Do I 1-stroke it, or do I take my time? Nah, we're going to 1-stroke it. Why not? And I'm all of a sudden 4-1 up. And still popping up on the break. Yeah, I got to work on that. Note to self, work on the break a lot. An awful lot. did not make anything on the break. And like I said in the last one, I didn't adjust. I mean, the last break I made, what, a ball, 2 balls, 3 balls? I made a bunch. It just depends on how I hit them. And I think I'm in, with this stance thing and standing up, I'm not consistent enough yet. So I'm going to stop talking about the break. That was the other shot I was talking. Oh, no. For the 5-ball last game. That's pretty rough because at the level we're at, ball in hand should mean, ball in hand with an open table should mean a win for the guy who gets ball in hand. Now the 5, 6, 8 are a mess here. The 7 looks like it's a mess now, but as soon as the 2 and 3 get out of there, it's going to be wide open. 3 to the 4 to the 5 is really the shot. So I'm taking the natural angle, knowing that a stop shot on the 2 gives me this path. And I'm looking, put it right to my tip. Because my plan is to try to, well, I'll talk once we get there, see if I can execute this shot without screwing it up. This is going to be upper left. This is going to be 2 rails out of the corner. Very, very, very standard rotation shot. Almost want to overrun that as opposed to underrunning it, because if you bounce off the rail and come out here, still have a shot. What I'm looking at is 1, 2, 3 and hitting this gap for the 5. It seems crazy, but there's quite a big position window there. The 5 does go past the 9. I believe the 6 goes past the 8 here too. Getting around the 8 is the tricky part. Getting around the 5 is the easy part. But doing this also works. The problem here is that I'm going into the 6 ball. So I need to judge where the 6 is going, how hard I'm hitting the 5, and how hard the 6 goes. Like how far does the 6 go? Can I get the 6 to just come out here somewhere? And then when I play the 5, the cue ball is going to stop here. I just have a natural stop shot on the 6, or being able to work with it. I hit it kind of funny. I wish I would have hit that harder so the 6 ball popped out and went up here, because this is much more manageable than this. This is it's a nasty shot that look like I'm measuring up. A lot of people would take the 6-9 bank here. Sure, if you want to sell out the game. There are no early 9s, so if you make it the 9 spots, you got to shoot the 6 from wherever it is and wherever the cue ball is. So good luck controlling all 3 of those. Play that with a lot of outside spin. And look at this. I'll take it. I missed a couple of these cuts in the last match, but I've made a couple since I've missed those. Feeling much more comfortable here. And I'm also have the momentum of being up 4-1 and being on the table and having a 3 ball. You know, this is essentially the 9 ball. Because no matter where I get on the 8, unless I'm below it somewhere down here, I'm out. 8 and 9 are just sitting right in front of the pockets, and these are routine shots. I don't want to say I'm already looking forward to the final game, or final set, but I'm already kind of looking forward to the final set. All right, I'm on the hill, 5-1. I think he mentioned at this point, he's like, I think I scratched in every single rack. And I knew at that point that he was done. So again, a dry break. I won't talk about it, but not a really great layout. I don't know how he makes the 1 and gets back for anything on the 2, because the 8 and the 3 and the 7 are just giant. I would almost consider pushing out and letting my opponent deal with this, but if it was my push out and he was at 5-1, I would think about that. If it was my push out and I was at 5-1, I would think about that. But yeah, that's exactly what, he's never going to avoid those balls. Now he made the 2 and the 4 worse. I may have just pushed out to like here, or found an angle that he could make the 1, but it was difficult, and that nobody's going to pass that up. But trying to get on the 2 and get a shot is difficult. But being down 1-5, you get that feeling like you can't miss, you can't give your opponent anything, and yeah, kind of see that now. This is a problem because he didn't hit a rail. So this is ball in hand for me. Now the 4 is in a spot where it's not great because there's no combo. I'm looking at the angles of like, can I go into the 4, but then I might get stuck behind the 8. I won't have a shot in a 3. Can I go? What can I do with this 4-9? And I'm almost thinking if I'm over here, like in this line, I can play the carom off the 4 into the 9. The 4 goes this way, Kilo goes that way, 9 gets spotted there. That's kind of my thoughts here. I kind of do remember this. Little weird angle. I could do one of a couple different ways. I could follow this 3 rails and out to get to that line. I could pop it out. I could draw it out. I mean, there's a number of different things. The 5 does go, so if I can get there to on the 4, I actually have a chance of getting out of this rack. The other thing that I should have looked at, which I didn't, is just make the 3 and play safe on the 4. Send the 4 somewhere over here and leave the cue ball behind the 8. But I didn't look at that at all. I'm in like all guns blazing. I'm going through this. And then I underhit the 3. I get the angle, but I'm way far away from it. I could be here a lot easier. And it makes this shot a lot easier then. Kind of at a weird angle. I have to play this with some inside spin, hit the 4 really thin. But at this point, I don't think the safety's on because I'm so far away. So I think I played that wrong. I think I should have played for the pre-planned safety on the 4. Hit that way too thick. But I might have gotten lucky. I think you can hit the 4, but I don't think it goes here. I don't think you can get enough on this side of it to make it go off the 5. So I think he's going to try to play safe off the 6. Oh no, he can make it off the 5. Never mind. Well, then this may be a match. He overran that by a lot. I would have played that in an angle where I would have tried to get to the spot and play on the side. But as it is, he has this shot. And remember when I said he scratched every time? Well, there's the concession, there's the match, there is me up 6-1, and he says, all right, let's do it again. However, it was 10 o'clock at this time, 10 p.m. So maybe I didn't stay there till midnight, but it was 10 p.m. and he had an hour drive home, and there was a big soccer match at 11 p.m. because, you know, he is Mo Salah, the soccer guy, and he said, how much is the prize? And we looked at it. It was like, it wasn't that great. It was a little bit more than the buy-in of the tournament. I think it was $35 extra from chopping outright to playing first and second. Now, I was in this mode where I was playing really well and shooting well and feeling well. But as soon as he said, do you want to chop it? My whole body just like relaxed, just like shoulders dropped, chest like exhaled, and I'm like, yes, absolutely, because I am exhausted from playing 47 hours of pool this weekend or whatever it was. Might have been even more than that, but probably not. But so we chopped. There is no second match, but I wanted to play it up so that it wouldn't give it away in the previews and things like that. Officially in digital pool, he took first, I took second, but whatever. It's a split. I don't think it goes against either of our Fargos for that final match that wasn't played. I do get 6-1 credit over beating him for the first finals, but there it is. I want you guys to leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this series. Do you want me to do more of these types of tournaments? Some of them are quick. Some of them are much longer. We've had over 30 people in some of these tournaments. There's been as few as 12 or 9 or 8 or, whatever. It depends on the weather and depends on what's going on, if it's a holiday and things like that. I am starting to play in more of these. I have a number of them that I've played in, but this is the first one I've actually gone and captured. I did a couple different, racks here and there, and maybe I'll put a link up to one of them. But let me know in a comment if you want me to do any more of these. I certainly will not stay up until 3:11 a.m. commentating on them, although who knows. But in the meantime, make sure you do the YouTube stuff, not the Lou, that's not something else. The YouTube stuff, the like, the comment, the subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. Hope you have a great day and have a good one. We'll see you.